Did Joe Shane by chance set up the New York Giants to have one of the best quarterback classes in 2025? Let's dive in and talk about this. Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is your man R0B back at it again with another New York Giants video. And in this video, I want to talk about the New York Giants overall quarterback room going into 2025. Um, I hinted a little bit and gave a little bit in a previous video that I did when we were talking about signing Russell Wilson. But I wanted to really just kind of take this video to discuss my opinions on the quarterback room, and the importance of that position, and what it means for the New York Giants in this video. Before we jump in, do me a quick favor. I want you to go ahead and smash that like button. It does help the videos get noticed, helps with the algorithm. Smash that subscribe button. Turn on those bell notifications so that you never miss another upload. Let's dive right into it. So, the Giants went ahead into this offseason with just Tommy DeVito as far as when it comes down to, the quarterback room. And I don't have Tommy DeVito on the thumbnail on this video, and I'm going to explain why. I think everybody kind of knows why. But, if you know me, but I only have Russell Wilson and I have Jameis Winston on here because I personally don't see Tommy DeVito making this roster. I think it's going to be either just Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston and a rookie, or either way it's going to be a rookie. So it's either going to be a developmental rookie or it's going to be Shador Sanders. And look, I think ultimately bringing in these two quarterbacks, our quarterback room the last couple of years has just been atrocious. Tyrod was a very good backup for us for a couple of years from 2022 and throughout the 2023 season. Last year, it was not very good having Daniel Jones and Drew Lock and Tommy DeVito on this roster. And I think to that extent, the Giants needed to get a quarterback in here that was going to be able to compete, win games, and know how to lead a football team. And I think that Russell Wilson brings that. I think Russell Wilson has that quality. He's been in the league now going into his 14th season. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He's been a part of a winning organization. He's been a part of a organization that was kind of struggling a little bit with the Denver Broncos. They were kind of up and down. And I think when it comes down to it, I think that he's a good fit for the New York Giants. I think he's going to, as far as his preparation and getting guys ready and his understanding of the game, I think he's going to be a very good fit for the Giants. And I think with Jameis Winston, he's going to be that light in the room. He's going to be that guy that even when things may not seem down, he's going to be Mr. Positivity. He's going to keep these guys focused, keep these guys engaged, not letting them let the outside noise get to them, trusting in what they have inside that locker room, what they're building inside that locker room, and just keeping them pushing forward. And whether you think that that's corny or not, that's the way Jameis Winston is, and I think that that's what he's going to bring. He's going to be a light on the practice field, a light in the locker room, a light in the interviews. But I think when you look at these two guys individually, I think it's the perfect situation for Joe Shane to take a swing on a quarterback. And when I say take a swing, look, I understand that there are a lot of people that are not very big on Shador Sanders, and I'm going to have a video coming out where I talk about the quarterbacks that are potentially available to the New York Giants. I don't view Cam Ward as available to us because in my mind, he's going one to the Tennessee Titans, so I'm kind of putting him out of the example. But, I think that the Giants have set up a good room regardless of who they bring in. The only real question is, will they be here? Right? That's the only thing. Um, you know, and that's the concern. That's the concern, right? And that's it. It's really in its entirety. And I'll dive into that when I cover the quarterbacks that potentially could be available to the Giants at 3 or later. And we'll see. But I think when you have Jameis and you have Russell Wilson in this building, you know, Russell loves to watch film. He watched a lot of film, and I think that from that perspective, it would be really good to be able to for him to mentor that young quarterback on preparation. How do you get ready? How do you prepare? Watching film, going over things, going over coverages, going over blitzes, going over stunts, right? I think that that's something that Russell Wilson could really bring to the table in going over those things with that rookie. Hey, that I think that's very important. And then you have Jameis. Jameis is a guy that to me doesn't get rattled very easily when things are bad or things are looking or kind of doom and gloom. He finds the positivity in every situation. And I think that's an important quality to have when you're a quarterback because when you are a franchise quarterback, the team is rallying around you, rallying around your shoulders. And if you're getting frustrated, which rightfully so, quarterbacks get frustrated all the time. But if you can keep a cool head and you can instill in the guys in the locker room that you're leading to trust the process on whoever the coach is or GM is or whatnot or whatever the team that you're on, trust the process. You know what? We can't change yesterday. We can't change last week. We could just focus on tomorrow. We could just focus on this week, one day at a time. I think that that goes a long way, and I think that that's something that Jameis has done throughout his career is staying very positive and not letting last week bleed into the next week. And I think that that's something that would be really good for that young rookie to learn to work with. And sitting behind a guy like Russell Wilson, learning and seeing how he manages the game, how he takes what the defense gives him, his maneuverability in the pocket, how to use the weapons around him. I think that Russell Wilson can do that well, and I think would be able to teach a young quarterback how to do that. I think this is right now, in my opinion, the best quarterback room that we've had since these guys have taken over. This is the best quarterback room we've had since Eli Manning retired. And I think that Joe Shane has done a good job. I know about the Matthew Stafford. I know about the the Aaron Rodgers, but ultimately to be able to land Russell Wilson and to be able to land Jameis Winston, I think is going to go a long way for whatever they decide to do at the quarterback position. Um, I have my preferences and my beliefs, but a lot of those beliefs are skewed based on the timeline I feel like these guys are on. If this was 2 years ago, I would be all for, a guy like a Jalen Milrow, who's a developmental quarterback coming in and being able to sit a year, 2 years behind these guys, um, and being able to learn and then giving that guy a chance, right? But they need wins. And if the wins aren't there, I think that it's going to be a hard sell not to sell that you've got a top tier quarterback prospect waiting to take over, right? And I'm talking star power type of quarterback. And right now, Shador Sanders to me is the only star power level quarterback that's going to be available to them or potentially could be available to them at 3. And that's who I think the Giants should take a swing on. But ultimately, I love the quarterback room. I think that Russell Wilson is going to give you usage of positions and players that we haven't really seen. You saw in Pittsburgh how we really got, and even in Seattle, right, with Miller, and with Pat Fryermuth when he was with Pittsburgh, and even the tight ends in Denver. I think that he was able to really go ahead and use the tight ends really, really well. And we've got a young tight end in Theo Johnson that they drafted that is a really good athletic tight end at his size, can get up the seam. That's a guy that I think that I'd love to see them get more involved. He likes to give his guys opportunities. Are we going to see more deep passes down the field to Malik Neighbors, to Darius Slayton, to Jalen Hyatt? Those are players that I think that the Giants are. I'm excited to see how the Giants and how Russell Wilson gets to use them. Another guy is Wendell Robinson, right? I'm not comparing him to him, but Tyler Lockett was a really good route runner, really tough to bring down, a really good slot, gadget type of receiver. Wanda Robinson, I think, has a very unique skill set. He's quick. He runs routes pretty well. He's got a good route concept. He can cut, and he's tough to bring down after he makes the catch. Right. So I'd love to see how they're going to go ahead and get Wandell Robinson involved and what he could do for this offense with a better quarterback and with the running game. You got Tyrone Tracy coming back. I think that would be good. Maybe they draft a running back in the draft. I think that this offense gives you some hope to be maybe a little bit excited. Although the biggest question mark is really, is who's going to be calling plays. If it's Dable, how is those offensive plays going to be called? How's that going to look? You could say the same thing about Kafka. Excuse me, sorry for yawning. You could say the same thing about Kafka. How's it going to look for Mike Kafka? And then obviously the biggest question is who's quarterback? If it's Russell Wilson, how's he playing? If it's a rookie, how's he playing? Right? So those are some big question marks going in. But overall, I think that the quarterback room is much improved from what it's been in years past. And I'm excited to see potentially what this quarterback room can be going forward. Let me know down in the comment section how you guys feel about this quarterback room. Do you still want the Giants to maybe potentially take a swing? How do you think that they set up this quarterback room? Did they set it up to where you're not worried about whatever quarterback that they bring in, or is there a specific quarterback that you'd like for them to target in the draft? Let me know down in the comment section. Be sure to go ahead and hit that thumbs up. It does help the videos get noticed, helps with that algorithm. Smash that subscribe button. Turn on those bell notifications so that you never miss another upload. I'm R0B, signing off. Go Giants.